I would give my life for Galio. You don't have to know anything about League lore to know this is the good guy, and everybody else is the bad guy. Just as an illustration of how rewarding and fun this character is, he actually got me, the most locked-in, stubborn jungle one-trick in the history of the game, to actually lane willingly and enjoy it. That was not thought possible until now. And he might feel a little clunky and weird at first, but that's what I thought about Scion, and now Scion and I have been married for 30 years. I'm here today to tell you this character is a must try. If there's any chance that your experience with Galio would be as amazing as mine, that would mean I have a moral obligation to spread the good word and show you how to walk the righteous path. And I'm telling you, this is not just a chance. This is a certainty. Galio at his core is about encouraging your team, and there are two main ways you can do this. The first way is to make it clear that you will always have their back, whether through roaming, engaging in a team fight, or showing up to save the day at the exact right moment. You gotta make it clear that with Galio on their team, they are never truly alone. And the second way to do this is to just become a psychopathic serial murderer. That's usually the one that I go with, but both of these are equally viable. This guy is all about knocking people 30 feet in the air and trying to kill them before they even hit the ground. And it always works because he's got 3 separate hard CC abilities. Let's start with the E. You reel back and then shoot forward, stopping at and knocking up the first champion you hit. It's relatively simple, but there's slightly more here than meets the eye. It comes out super fast and you can use it to dodge skill shots or even eat CC while somewhat maintaining your trajectory. You can even use it as a straight up mobility tool to get in range for the rest of your combo. And all of that is really cool. I could talk for a while about how I appreciate the versatility and the skill floor, skill ceiling gap on the ability, but this is some nerd shit. I'd rather just show you how to do a spicy Galio trick. So check this shit out. I mentioned before that this backwards movement comes out pretty fast, but Galio does not want to move backwards. He wants to move toward his next victim. So sometimes it does kind of feel like a nerf. It'll telegraph where you're going super hard and involuntarily retreat you, lessening the travel distance. But what if there was a way to use this animation to our advantage? Introducing the Galio trick. There's an active hitbox on this entire animation. So if you flash toward the target and aim your E in the exact opposite direction, you'll actually end up hitting them on your way back, stopping the movement, leaving them knocked up and leaving you right next to them. 10% of the time. The other 90%, you'll just blow flash and end up right back where you started, and that shit is more embarrassing than all of my Lee Sin gameplay combined. So if you're gonna commit to this, you gotta be careful. But if you know your hitbox and you pull this off right, your entire Discord call will fucking explode. Now let's do the W. You get a big circle around your character model that gets even bigger the longer you hold it. And anybody that gets caught in this thing once you release it gets taunted and slowed. You can still move around while casting it, and even though it does slow Galio down, the rate at which the circle grows makes it super hard to dodge or even outrun. My first moments on Galio were defined by missing or not even casting W because I underestimated just how big this thing gets. And now that I have some practice on him, it legit feels unmissable. And if I'm the one telling you that a move is unmissable, good luck missing it. Not to mention the passive stats this gives you. Again, this is nerd shit, I'm not gonna sit here and spell all this out, but the moral of the story is that if you combine this with Aftershock and Bone Plating, AP-based characters cannot interact with your health bar. It just becomes like a green JPEG with a number on it. Now R. This is one of the highest potential ults in the game, and I probably get like maybe a 15th or a 16th of its value every time I use it. It still feels OP. This is a massive range WWE smackdown. When I say this ult is high potential, I mean it is straight up not fair when used correctly. And that's why Riot locked its value behind the one condition a League of Legends player could never overcome: teamwork. This ability can only target ally teammates, and it will send you to their exact location, no wiggle room whatsoever. If you're playing solo queue, good luck getting your degenerate Singe to go anywhere near the actual team fight. But if you're in call, you can win the entire game in champ select. So far, my favorite ult target is Samira. She'll go into the center of a team fight, and then everyone will think she's trolling and try to collapse on her, only to get stopped by a fucking chain CC missile. That's how you get a Samira fed as shit, and this only gets nastier when you add in characters like Zac or Jarvan or Malphite that essentially guarantee a consistent avenue to perfect ults every time. What the fuck is the counterplay to this? Just to make a new account? It's the most fun part of Galio by a mile, and I'm begging you not to get discouraged when you miss the first couple of times, because this will eventually come together and start winning you games. That's my Galio guarantee. Now here's where the damage comes in. The Q is a tornado, and the passive is a slam dunk on your auto attack. Both of these have amazing returns if you buy damage items, and you can easily weave them in between all of your CC abilities. Both of these moves are also very simple, and that's why I'm grouping them together like this, but I do have an important tip for each one. So here you go. Q Tornado has lingering damage, so make sure you specifically use this on a target that's stunned so they take as much damage as possible. And the passive's cooldown is lowered by successful ability hits. So get that first auto out as fast as you can to make sure that you get a second dunk at the end of the combo. When you put it all together, it's gonna look like this. Any CC ability into auto Q, into any CC ability, into second auto. That's how easy it is to kill an ADC. And if you do this more than like 2.5 times, it will fully become second nature to you, and you will become one with Galio. My best tip for laning? Don't fucking lane. Your wave clear is, wow, Jesus. And your roams take half as long as the next mid laner because you can ult to replace the whole second half of your travel time. This isn't to say he's a bad laner at all, it's just to say that he's a better murderer. This champion always wants to fight. His CC makes him valuable at all points in the game, so you want to be looking for trouble anywhere you can find it. As long as you have the same or a higher number of champions, I would say the odds are highly in Galio's favor, especially if he hits ult. And that's kind of all I got in this section. I'm not going to even pretend to be knowledgeable about laning in general, but I can tell you this is honestly all you need to get ahead on this champion. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it too. Okay, I got 3 builds for you, and I'm gonna give you the highlights. Here's the actual meta. This is like an off tank with a reactive finisher. Here's the support build. This is pretty much full tank and utility. And here's the real one. This is what I buy almost every single game. I'm sure you can see why that is. But let's start here. You get Celestial Opposition and lock it, then match the biggest enemy threat with either a Canic Rookern, Thornmail, or Frozen Heart. And after all that, pretty much the only reason you wouldn't be buying just random tank items would be if the situation called for a Zanya's or a Medjai's. I don't love Medjai's on normal AP Galio because he just goes in deep as hell. But when you got all these tank items and you're just gonna be peeling the whole game anyway, fuck it, why not? Now here's the actual meta build. Don't blink, I'm gonna do this pretty fast because I've only tried it one time. Riftmaker, Hollow Radiance, and Zanya's. This build is fine. It's probably stronger than mine, especially in high elo, but I don't give a fuck about it at all because it's not my beloved full AP Galio build.
Finally, some good fucking food.
This strategy has been nerfed, but I cannot tell. You can still blow people up super easy, and it's all about that Lichbane proc. This is gonna do damage on your next auto after a spell based on your AP. So all we really gotta do is buy this and then buy damage. Simple as. Galio is my best friend, and he says you can come with us to Applebee's if you want. He's one of the best cooperative champions available to pick up, and he generates hype plays like a fucking machine. If you got a Zac player or a Malphite player in your favorite Discord, there really is no excuse to not at least give him a try. I've been playing this guy a ton ever since this wave of Arena came out, and I still reliably get the itch to play him constantly. Nothing in this game can make you feel the way a well-executed Galio ult does. And believe it or not, I've seen a big positive shift in the attitude of my teammates after I hit just one. When I say playing Galio is a righteous path, I mean he will genuinely spread joy and a sense of camaraderie to both the team and the player themselves. And in light of this, I've devoted my entire being to becoming Galio-like in all facets. Nothing would make me happier than to personally invite you to open your heart to Galio and pick him in your next game. That is, unless I'm on your team and I'm trying to pick Galio, in which case, kill you. Okay, so check it out. The video is 9 minutes and 30 seconds long, and that is not the YouTube number. So I'm gonna make a secret JoJo video after this one. This one's just between you and me, right? So all the stands in JoJo are named after albums, and the last album that David Bowie ever made before he died was called Black Star, and that whole album is about how he thinks he's about to die. I'm saying, what if there was a major antagonist that killed off the entire JoJo bloodline and ended the entire series, and his stand was called Black Star? That shit would be cool as hell!